I think this is just another example of why it's so important to love oneself from the inside out. And it's hard to keep that alignment when we're bombarded with the opposing. They keep giving me the same example for days now about it's somebody who, ironically, their name is a happy name, and then they're very sarcastic and very I'm just going to speak plainly. They more or less have a deep-seated hate for themselves, and it shines through. That's what shines through, is their disdain for themselves. And and so they keep showing me this person just randomly. And we keep talking about it. And I'm like, but what is the problem? Like, I know that person has enough money to go change their exterior appearance if that's the problem. And I was like, oh God, but I guess that is the problem, right? Like, people do that. And then it's like forever chasing, because it's almost embedding in. That was a big part of my own forgiveness process I had to do. I'm not saying not to do it. You'll have to listen to those way back then. But it's a fine line. It's like, if you're doing it for yourself and then you can be more at peace with yourself, it's one thing. But a lot of time the intention is, the reason you're not at peace with yourself is because others have told you how things, quote, should be. Well, that should list is forever changing. And so this is the idea of keeping up with the trends. Well, you'll never be able to keep up with it. I mean, like, it's an exhausting process. Why not just love yourself, right? If you love yourself, then you can appreciate trends, but it has no like reflection, has no like snag or tag. Like, it's just nice to watch them come and go. That doesn't mean you have to participate in them. Do you know what I mean? Does that make sense? Like, and so anyway, when I was having this discussion with them regarding this person actually jumped in and said, well, that doesn't change the years gone by. She's probably my age or older. And I thought, well, that's very true. That's very true. If she's always hated herself and never changed her appearance, she might hate the way she looks or who she is, but that's the problem. Don't hate who you are. And then you'll start to love your unique look. And that'll shine through very differently. And yet, sorry, they're wanting me to go back to, excuse me. It's true with the years of pent up. See, this is the chicken or the egg. It's like, it's the years of pent up hurt, right? So at what point did that start for her? You know, like, I bet you she thought she was an adorable child. Like, at what point did she look at herself and think, I'm not good enough, I'm not pretty enough, I'm not like them, right? And then you start to compare, right? Like, you start that rhetoric, and then you start being told that because your internal voice is telling you that. So then you hear it on the outside. Do you see what I'm saying? Like, it's like, who cares if it's the chicken or the egg? It's continuing until you crack it, right? Until you stop that cycle. And tell yourself the truth. Like, love yourself. Find the good in you. See what you do love about yourself. And start to feel it and focus on it. Because the more you focus on what you do love and what feels good and what feels right, the rest starts to soften. The rest starts to fall in line. The next thing you know, if she did that long enough, she would start to probably, I would hope, my understanding is, feel beautiful. But we don't train ourselves that way, and we don't train others that way. We train everybody to compete with everybody, find the current ideal, the current trend, and focus on that. And when you can't achieve it, poof, you know, and it's like, God, that's harsh, right? This is the idea of think for yourself, love yourself, because then you don't get caught up in that rhetoric. You don't get caught up in those strings and ties and lies. I'm just trying to think. Like, I feel like I feel like so many people have gotten out of that loop. I mean, I had for a time, I think a lot of people, but I guess there's always there's this silent stuff going on in the background that you really have to tune up to hear to smash, right? Like sometimes it is so quiet. Like, I don't know that this person would have been able to get to the heart of that self-hatred she has. Like, in other words, I don't think she would say that. But she could probably quickly unravel it if she actually listened to herself. Yeah. So I don't know what the message is for everybody, because I feel like that's all we talk about. And that is the point, is to not listen to those outside ourselves, but to align with ourselves and to love ourselves and to accept ourselves and appreciate ourselves, right? It's like rejoice in what you do have, right? Appreciate what you do have, love what you do so you can share that beauty with others, because then it just continues to magnify and ripple in that way. And I'm not saying it's easy. I know people don't like, I know, but because there's a lot of people out there that like to throw rocks, and then you focus on those rocks and they grow, versus continuing to focus on you and your alignment, can be challenging. Because one little rock comes in the way and you choose to look at it, listen to it, intake it, and it just grows. And then we're building boulders because we repeat those little rocks. And it's like, why are you making that a boulder? What are you doing? Right? And so we have to just recognize our part, our control, our power, to focus on what we do want, to not give attention to the rocks, not give attention to the things that are getting in our way or upsetting us or hurting us or trying to harm us. Like, no. And that, I guess that just takes time and desire. I think it takes time simply because we've beat a dead horse the other way. We have really trained our brains. It's that automatic pilot. It's like that rubber band, right? Where we can stretch and stretch and stretch and stretch. And then sometimes we can let go and it goes right back to the same shape. And it's like, damn, it takes a really long time to remove the elasticity from that band. Or just thinking, or shoot it forward, but is that, I don't know what they're trying to show me, like to bust through. Sometimes you just have to stretch yourself and then you can fling forward. Other times people stretch and stretch and stretch and stretch and then go right back to the way it started, because they can't seem to fling forward. And sometimes people do it so often and can't seem to get out of their own way that it just becomes a rubber band without elasticity. But it hasn't moved. Although it felt like it did, right? Because it stretched, but couldn't bust through. I don't like this analogy. I don't think it's encouraging that way. But maybe they're just showing this is what can happen, right? This is what can happen. And you have to choose. Are you going to keep pushing through for you, even when it does get challenging? Even when you have run out of elasticity. Sorry, it's just what they're showing is kind of funny. It is kind of funny. Per usual, it's a little inappropriate, so I'm doing the best I can here. Okay. All right. Okay. What? I think that's it. I just, there might be more to this one because they keep bringing her up. I do find it interesting why they bring this one person in particular up. And it's true, I don't necessarily care for her, but I don't necessarily not care for her. I don't think I ever pay her any mind. That's why I find it very interesting that, why her? So am I missing something? I don't know. I think it is just the idea that one must build the muscle of loving oneself, not the muscle of looking outside oneself, but that's what we do. We build that muscle to look outside ourselves for everything. And it is so strong. It is such a strong muscle. It's such a knee-jerk reaction. It's such an automatic pilot that we are being run by anything and everything outside ourselves. And fuck, when that gets stripped away, what are you going to do? What are you going to do? Most people are just like, no, I'm going to turn a blind eye to that. That's never going to happen. So I'm not even going to think about that. Right? But you could feel good right now if you could figure out how to go within and start loving yourself more and more and start doing that work. Then you could actually feel satiated. And it's like, it's like the thought of that is too difficult. Like, doesn't that sound insane? That sounds insane that we've trained ourselves to make it sound difficult to love ourselves, to understand what it means to love ourselves, to understand ourselves, our preferences, our likes and dislikes, to truly get to know ourselves. Most people will claim they do, but it's truly based on their environment. They like X, Y, and Z. Why? Because the whole world around them is that way. And they're like, no, that's why I'm here. I like this. And this is, really? Why? Right? Like they don't even know. They don't know. They have been so influenced and inundated by so much. People, places, things, everything. There's signs and I mean, there's so much. And it's like for the good and for the bad. But when you're not even consciously choosing, you're not actually living. You're just a machine down here until you wake up. And a lot of people intentionally go back to sleep with no, I am happy. I am choosing. I am happy. I am, and it's because they, I guess that's what they were showing with the rubber band. They'll go to stretch and it gets really uncomfortable outside their comfortable zone. And so they go right back and stretch and then go right back, stretch and go right back. And if you do that so many times, eventually the elasticity goes from that rubber band. I guess maybe that's the idea. It's like, so by the time you're ready to really leap through, by the time you're really ready to go into your dreams that you've forgotten all about, what really would satiate you, what would really light you up like no other, the elasticity's gone from that rubber band, meaning you've aged to the point where when you go to shoot forward, you only make it so far because then you're dead. Right? Not to discourage, I guess you can do it at any age, you can do it at any point. But if you stop investing in yourself, stop loving yourself at any point, you go right back to your comfort zone. It's like you keep going back until you consistently love yourself forevermore and figure out what that means, learn what that means. And that's an inside job because, it's like, so many people are shouting it and capitalizing on it and all types of things. And yet it's again become a new regurgitated automatic verbiage. And it's like, well, only you know. Some people really are really authentic and really happy. Other people have mastered the regurgitation Their rhetoric is beautiful. But it's like you can feel the fakeness. You can feel the offness. And it's like, maybe it's just they've convinced themselves almost, right? It's like because they're not, it's like not necessarily going within and deciding themselves. It's like more like they're just training their new robotic state to be in that rhetoric. Does that make sense? It's like training one robot to form into another robot, but it's not consciously, intentionally choosing and deciding. It's more like the robot going, oh, I see that robot's doing better, performing that way. I will learn that language and speak that lingo. I, too, will change that way, right? Like it's not, it's not getting it. Yeah. And this goes on forevermore. This is why, like, you never know what is it you're showing. It's going to how to verbalize. They're showing, like, that's true. They're showing, like, you'll talk to people and it's like you think they get it and you keep, like, talking with them about it and you're like, huh. And then you're like, am I the jackass? Because I can feel they don't get it. Even though they're saying all the right thing, it's like we're not connecting at all. And am I the asshole then, like, trying to, like, repeat myself? Or do you see, does anybody know what I'm talking about? Like, I don't know how to explain this better, where you just, it's like running into a brick wall and you're like, okay, maybe they do get it. But you can feel in your bones that they're not connecting with what you're saying. They're responding the right way. They're saying the right things, but it's not resonating for both of you, or at least not for you. Like, you can feel that they're, like, I don't know, not fully there or something. It's like, it's such a weird dynamic, because I've had these dynamics where you're like, I could enjoy this conversation. Like, it's like, I don't want to leave because I could enjoy this conversation. And yet there's like a deadness behind those eyes. It's like, am I talking to a machine? Right? Like, I'm not sure. And it's a weird, it is a weird feeling. I'm clearly not verbalizing it like I'd like to, because I don't know how else to, like, isn't that weird? Like, you're having a conversation that you enjoy, but then the conversation, it almost feels like one-sided or something, even though it's a conversation. And it's like the person is responding and the conversation is flowing, but it's like, you know, they're not there. It's almost like, oh, wow, that's a good autopilot you have on. There's some screen I'm talking to, right? And it is communicating with me, but you are off somewhere else. I don't know where you are, but you're not here. So I'm going to leave too. And so that can seem weird to people who are full-on robots. Or maybe not, because the scene they're showing me, the robot is just like, okay. Right? Because the robot's just the robot. I don't know. I feel like they're trying to get me to see or understand something else in this scene. Because the robot's not just walking up to the next person. And interesting, and just conversing with the next person on a totally different topic, but doing the same thing. Which is kind of cute of the robot. The robot just wants to engage, I suppose, with other robots, or maybe with people. I don't know. Maybe it does want to engage with people because it, and by the way, it is a person, but I'm calling it a robot based on how it's behaving. But it likes to be able to converse. I'm sorry, I'm watching it with other people, and it does get more animated the deeper in conversation it gets with the people it can fool. So like the more people engage and don't recognize it's a robot, it's like the robot loosens up or eases in or steps on the gas, another leans in more. I don't know. With the so the robot is reacting to its environment. So the robot is seeking outside itself. So this is an analogy for all humans. When one seeks outside oneself, it is just a robot being programmed by whatever is right in front of it. Gotcha. Okay. Right. Where a human that is able to think on its own can see the robots more clearly. I love that. Okay, I gotta stop this a sec. Okay, sorry. Someone came to the house. So I like that. I like what they were saying. But what's interesting is I do find that to be true. And I liked how they showed it. And yet we're all doing this. It's like we're falling on and offline, going into robotic mode and then back into human mode all the time, because even if you're able to see all that, see other humans, see who's real, see who's authentic, see who's, it's like new level to new devil in that it ups the ante in that even when you get near authentic people, right, who are consciously choosing, they're staying awake, they're staying present, they're alive and real and well. I mean, I don't know. I guess I'm kind of also asking them as I'm talking this through, because I'm just imagining. So say that's the case, like, God, how blissful would that actually be, right? And wouldn't then we begin to start all over again? It's like then start to question again, because it's like once you get relaxed anywhere, so even in that space, like even in the space of all people authentic, you can become, it's like too relaxed, which is a shame to say it that way, but it is that idea where, yeah. Sorry, they're showing me another example of something else, but I guess it is part of this. Where things start to slip and slide. They had shown me, lately I've been hearing again a lot about, I mean, you've been hearing this now for 20, 30 years about the mercury level in fish, and, you know, to be careful with what you eat and where and when, and we're forever being told this. And that can have many meanings. And nonetheless, if we just take it at face value, there had been a lot of celebrities that talked about it, which is always beneficial in that it brings awareness to what a portion of society had been known and shouting, but nobody hears them. But then when somebody of status has the same problem, all of a sudden it gets heard, which is good. And it can bring awareness to bring help to those who can't get out of their own way, kind of thing. And and then hopefully something can be done about it. Okay, so what was the point? Okay, so there was somebody who had gotten habitual with his diet, because it was a lot about what I talk about the idea of there's things that I set up automatically, so I don't have to worry about them, right? Like I have other things I want to spend my time, attention, and focus on, and I don't want to be distracted by things that I'm not concerned about or don't need to worry about. Like once I've got them mastered or down pat. So he had gotten his diet mastered and down pat, the ideal diet for his frame and size and situation and health and blah, 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 because we're all unique to it. And so he felt he had gotten it down pat. But it did include a lot of fish. And I imagine it must have included a lot of tuna, because that's usually the one that has the most, it's the biggest one to contain the most mercury. And nonetheless, he, I think, ended up getting mercury poison. But I think this is also the universe's way of saying, slow down. Start choosing everything. Start indulging in everything. You're not supposed to set up, so this is a message for me. Yeah, I just realized. You're not supposed to set up things automatically because you're not a robot. You're not supposed to be flying through life. You're not supposed to be rushing and racing to the next thing. And you're supposed to enjoy those meals that you choose, not meals that you brush aside or toss together or have your chef make and have it pre-made so that you can focus on other things. But we do this. We're in such a fast-paced culture. I do this all the time with so many things. I have so many things for me not to be bothered with thinking about them. So that's interesting they're saying all this. I mean, I guess it's true. We do set ourselves up like robots, because to me it's also a way of enjoying the convenience of those setups, but I guess it also sets ourselves up for no longer being present and enjoying life, right? Like those things, those responsibilities, those like I'm just thinking even bills I have set up automatically. It's like you can give thanks for having that bill because that means you were graced with that. Like, isn't it lovely that you have a mortgage or a rent to pay because it means you have a home? Isn't that lovely that you have an electric bill? That means you've had light and you've had gas and you've had... Do you see what I'm saying? Like, how lucky are we that we're able to afford and pay for these luxuries, right? And we can look at it like that so that we can give thanks and appreciation for it, but we don't. We set it up on automatic pilot and expect it. And so even with like, it's true. That is true. There was a period in my life where I really was taking time to be fully present during my meals and really slowing down and indulging in each bite and being fully aware. And it is such, it was, I guess I end up doing that more on vacation because I have the time to sit and breathe and relax. And sometimes I'll read during, or I'll, bring something with me. So I'm present. And when I choose to pick up a bite to eat, I'm fully doing just that. Like you so slow down and it is so lovely. That you recognize the contrast. You recognize that you have been racing and rushing through life only to get to the indulgence of slowing down and enjoying the present moment, which is hilarious because you can slow down and enjoy the present moment right fucking now. But we give our list of excuses, limitations, justifications as to why we cannot do what we want to do right here, right now. We're so stupid. It's like getting in our own way. It's all we do. Yeah. So it's like training that muscle the other way. It is almost like you have to let the old muscle weaken, die down, lose its elasticity, and build the new muscle and just focus on building the new muscle. And in the focusing of building the new muscle, the old muscle will die off. But some of us have built that muscle so strong, so stiff, so tight. Oh, that's interesting. They're showing this neck thing again. I've been watching lately where some people, it's like have that hump in the back of their neck, and it has nothing to do with all the exercises you can do and all these things. It's that your head is so heavy. And so when people are leaning forward and looking down on their phone or all these things, they don't realize they're putting, I don't know what it is. It's like 8 times the force. So if your head weighs 20 pounds times 8, you're putting 160 pounds on that one muscle. And then it like gets stuck or stiff or frozen there. It ends up shortening there. So then everything else around it has to build up and overcompensate. And so you have to stretch that muscle out again. And then start paying attention to those things, like stop looking down on your phone and all this stuff. But instead of me going into further explanation, because I've already lost my train of thought, well, what is it? Oh, it's that idea too. It's like that muscle has now gotten stiff and shortened and almost like stuck. And so even if you're focusing on building another muscle, it's like you still have to stretch out that other muscle so you can straighten back up. So it's not always the case of just focus on what you do want, because you can have things holding you back because they've been shortened and they haven't been paid attention to stretch them out, smooth them out, understand them, that it's still that kink. And it's just different for everybody. That's why there's a million techniques. I mean, there's a lot of people who tell you never look back, never focus on that thing you don't want ever again, all these things, which I agree with majority of the time. And there's been things that just isn't the case for me. And it's because it was like, no, that's short and frozen and stuck. So you can focus all you want over there, but it's still going to nag you, bother you, hurt you, harm you until you take the time and attention to stretch it out, look at those kinks, recognize what's happening there. Otherwise, it's frozen and stuck there. So you can wish and pray and hope and focus on what you want all you want, but that's not going away until you take a look at it, until you address it, see what the real problem is. And you can get temporary fixes. They talked about that, like all these temporary fixes. And it's the idea of the Band-Aid. It'll aid it for a temporary time, and then it's time to change the Band-Aid, but we're not addressing the wound itself. Okay. bAbBLE mode is approaching. Thanks so much for tuning in and listening. You can now purchase an audio journey with me using the link below.